Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're going to get a look at what's inside the Bestech Imp. Alright, guys, so let's open this guy up, see if we can get this pivot apart. I was successful with the Goblin using a penny. I think a dime might be better. I just don't have one readily available. In your country, I'm sure that there's a coin that will be close in thickness and diameter to either a dime or a penny that you ought to be able to use to do the same thing. There we go. I think that's far enough. I can get it with my fingers. And this is a free spinning pivot, but it doesn't seem to want to spin on me, which is a very nice thing. And there is our pivot screw. Very nice little pivot screw. And we have a T6 rocked and ready. And we need to get this one out. There we go. And we need to get this one out. Probably all we're going to take out, because I just had the Goblin apart, so I know what's in there. And that should be all we need to do. Now, lock bar tension off, and apart the knife comes. There's our stop pin. There's our back spacer sitting there on those standoffs, shouldered standoffs. Very nice. They fit in there very well. There's our free spinning pivot. Pop it out of there. Our ceramic ball bearings. Very nicely done, guys. I mean, these knives are built, like I've said several times now, they are built just like the big knives. Get our zebra stripes back out, and we'll get to cleaning this stuff up. Well, we got to get those bearings out of there too, but there's one bearing down. The only thing that, and it's not just Bestech, it's most companies. Most companies use a thicker oil, or some of them use a type of silicone grease. That is the one downfall of almost every knife company, and it's not really a downfall because they do it on purpose, because they're trying to insulate themselves a little bit. And what do I mean by that? Well, if they use that slightly thicker stuff, the action of the knife is still very, very good. It's not a problem. It's not like it's a mess or anything, but that thicker stuff will stay in there a considerably longer time. And that's what they're looking for. They're trying to find that spot between great action and that lubricant staying where it's supposed to be for a reasonable, or a long time, not a reasonable amount of time, for a long time. And that's why they use that slightly thicker oil. Ask them, they may tell you that it's because it's the perfect oil for the knife, or they're going to have their reasons for PR purposes, but really it's so that the oil sticks around for a very, very long time. For anybody, that has a couple of these pins or even some firearms oil laying around, if you get that thick oil out and you get some ballistol in there, or some CLP or whatever else, you're probably going to be in better shape, because it's a little thinner oil, and the little thinner oil makes the action a little better. And just look how intricately that's cut. Those guys, their milling with Bestech is exceptional. It really is interesting to me that Bestech has chosen to position themselves what would you say, below WE and above most of Kaiser's stuff, kind of in that middle ground where you spend a few dollars extra over some of the Kaiser mid-grade stuff and you can get premium stuff, or if you don't quite want to spend the $230 to $300 on the WE knife for around 200 bucks, you can pick up something like, and I had it out here a minute ago, but I guess not, something like the Starfighter or one of the Predator or one of Wee's larger knives. And then these tweeners, we can call them, kind of fall in that lower place where, you know, the knife is, these are $158, which is, well, some people are going to say is a little rich for a small knife. But remember, that Reich Hummingbird's 150 bucks, and it's so tiny that it's useless. Really cool piece of engineering, but so tiny that it's useless. And Bestech is, well, I just like where they position themselves. They've done, somebody over there was thinking and looking at the markets and trying to figure out where the best place for the company was instead of just throwing stuff out there. And let's start to get this thing, well, we can't put it back together until we have shaken the Vibratite and put it upon the screws, right? And that takes a half hour for me, and it's immediate for you, and I'm kind of jealous. But that's okay. We'll go ahead and get that guy doped up. Set it aside. And yes, I know I'm setting them off screen. I'm doing that on purpose. They're doped up. I'm setting them up there where they can dry. And try not to lose them or, well, Vibratite my fingers together. My goodness. Anyhow, I'm going to set everything else aside, and I'll be back with you here in 30 minutes for me, instantly for you. Alright, our time has elapsed. Let's get this thing back together. I already got a pivot running through it, so we'll get a backing washer in there. Our counter bores are down in the handles, so we want to put the back side of the race, the open side of the race, down. That's, if I can keep a hold of it, that's this, and I dropped it again. That is this side of that race. We'll leave the closed side of the race up, and that's just to mitigate getting crap down in the bearing, because if you got the closed side down in the hole, well, it's harder for stuff to get in there. And drop our blade down on here. And same thing on the other side. 10-way, drop, drop, drop. Put the back on there, drop, drop, drop. And put our backing washer right there. And don't forget to put your backspacer in. And again, holy crap. You know I said it in the Goblin review, and I'll probably say it in some more. But some of these newer knives from various different companies, not just Bestech and Wee, and some of the others, Kaiser even, whenever we took apart the Feist, some of these companies are just machining so well that getting these knives together, apart and together, is just, with the exception of this freaking free spinning pivot, but getting them to lay back together is just amazing. Like I said, I know I talked about it whenever we did the Goblin, so I'm not going to belabor the point. Now that is a pain in the butt. I'm going to have to get a screwdriver for that. Alright, we're going to try this again. I cleaned that screw up a bunch. There's a bunch of crap right down at the base of the screw, near the head, and I'm not sure. It didn't feel like Vibratite, so I'm not sure what exactly it was, but it was nasty. That's for sure. So let's see if this straightens up our problem. And looks like it has. So it just, oof, bunch of ick down there. Now that ain't good. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. Alright. Get our T6s back here in the back of it. And off we go. see where we're at. Don't have any blade play. Nice and centered. And once again, I forgot to put the frickin' 85 weight down in there. That this thing operates smooth enough anyhow. Let's see if we can see that. Oh, that's beautiful. We can see that detent ball right there. So, in fact, we'll go back on the Goblin and get it too. So I failed you guys on both of those. But, there we go. That's what's inside the Bestech Imp. And be sure to check your pivot screw before you put it back in and see if it's got a bunch of globby stuff on it. My eyeballs are still not working like they should, and I completely missed that. My fault, but you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.